Good morning, Tiger Nation.
Good morning. Good morning.
So happy to have you all here. I have mixed emotions about this this morning, and I think you will understand that as the program proceeds. My name is Mike Middleton. I'm the Deputy Chancellor here at the University of Missouri Columbia campus. I'm also a member of the Faculty of Law. I've been here for about 30 years. I remember, we're going to have to wait for Chris to do his thing. There you go. I'm sorry, Chris. Yeah. I became Deputy Chancellor in about 1996 or 7, I think. I remember the day that Chancellor Richard Wallace drove over to Gasper's Travel Plaza in Kingdom City, Missouri, to meet a young man who was a candidate for athletics director. That young man was Mike Alden. I remember the day in this room that Mike Alden, Rocky, and Jake, their son, who was then 3 years old, I believe, came walking down that hall. And you could feel the enthusiasm and excitement in the family. Mike, I think, exemplified that high energy that he's always displayed in his role here as athletics director. I had the opportunity to work very closely with Mike for the next 17 years on a wide range of issues that he confronted in managing our athletics department. And he maintained that high energy and that high enthusiasm. But I was most impressed by Mike's integrity. Mike and I learned very quickly that we shared a commitment to doing the right thing the right way. Let me say that again. Mike had a real commitment to doing the right thing the right way. And I think that his commitment to that simple principle has led to his great success as an athletics director, with the program under his direction and under his leadership setting records by every measure: academic performance, facilities improvement, social responsibility, competitive success, and rules compliance. Mike has done a remarkable job taking our athletics department, our athletics program, well beyond where it ever has been. Not breaking records, but taking us to new levels of success that have not been experienced at this university. For that, we are truly grateful. Beyond his skill, though, at running an athletics department, I can tell you personally that Mike was a significant player in the Chancellor's leadership team. Unlike some athletics directors who focus on athletics, Mike would actually come to more Chancellor's staff meetings than many of us and would contribute meaningful input on issues that went well beyond athletics. Mike showed true leadership skills and a real commitment to making this university, in its broadest sense, a better place for everybody. For that, we're grateful. I'm not very pleased with what we are here to say today, in that we are losing Mike as athletics director. But I'm really, really happy to say, and envious of Dan Clay here, for having worked something out that's going to keep Mike around for a while. The program is short. Our Chancellor, R. Bowen Lofton, is here. He has some words to say. Mike Alden is here. He has some words to say. The press is here in force. And there will be time for all of you to ask questions and get all the answers you need about this event. I myself want to say that I am very proud to have been able to work closely with Mike for these 17 years, and I'm even more proud to call him a friend. Now we have R. Bowen Lofton.
Thank you, Mike. Good morning. I'll be briefer than Mike. Back in the fall of 2013, I was considering coming here to Mizzou as the chancellor. It was a complex decision. There were many factors in it, but one factor I'll mention today, which hasn't been talked about much, and that is this man to my right, your left. Having served in a role like this elsewhere, having dealt with athletics at the college level for a number of years, I know the value of a good AD. I know it very deeply. So a factor in my decision to come from Texas to Missouri was Mike Alden. I did not know him well. We had met a few times, but I knew of him very well. There are very, very few Division I ADs with his length of tenure at one institution. Very few, less than 5. So his long-term service here at Mizzou is exceptional, and it has been impactful. Those who've been here during that time know personally how this place was then when he arrived and how it is today. This man has transformed athletics at the University of Missouri by any measure. So it's my pleasure to introduce to you Mike Alden, and just by doing so tell you that this is something that came up fairly recently. From him to me, it was a choice that Mike has made. I respect that. I don't like it, but I certainly respect it. And we're here today to allow him to tell you a bit from his heart as to what he sees his future at Mizzou to be. Mike?
Dr. Lofton, thank you so much. Mike Middleton, my friend, I appreciate you being here and that introduction as well, too. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy day to be together today. We all know that there's lots of things that you could be doing, but you chose to take some time to be here with us today, and we truly appreciate that. I'm sorry my son Jake couldn't be here with us today, but he's in class, which is good. He goes to another institution, but he is doing well in school, but we do miss him. And I'm glad Rock is here. She's down here on the front row, my wife Rocky, and so glad she's here, obviously, to be with us, as well as everyone else here. In particular, I was looking around for Richard Wallace. I was kind of hoping he was around here somewhere. He's waving at me in the back there. You know, Dr. Wallace and I had that breakfast all those years ago on July 4th. 1998 at Gasper's Truck Stop, and I will be forever indebted to him and for the opportunities that he and the University of Missouri have provided me. I was hopeful that Dr. Brady Deaton could be here with us today. I know that he's out of town, but I'm so pleased his wife Ann Deaton is with us today. Thank you so much for being here, Ann. I appreciate that. To the members of the media, appreciate you being here. Certainly I realize that's part of your job, but I also want to tell you how much I appreciate you being here, right? I really do. And I want to tell our ICA staff, there's a lot of people out there in the hall, a lot of people in the back there, like Sandy Matthew and many other that I work with every day. And I'm so glad that they are here. We have incredible coaches and incredible staff at the University of Missouri in our athletic program, and it's an honor for me to work with them each and every day. I saw a number of our faculty members here. Craig Roberts, the head of our faculty council, was here, as well as a number of other faculty members. So glad that they're here. I will, little point here, I got to tell you. So not only was I always making all those chancellor staff meetings, and I always do, I make every one of those general faculty meetings as well, too. I've been at every one of those for all these years. And some of you I don't see when I'm at those meetings. So, okay, now I get a chance to go in a different capacity when I have a chance to go to those, too. But our staff and our alums and all of our fans at Mizzou, we appreciate that. But Finally, I want to say thank you to our 35,000 students that we have here at the University of Missouri. We have amazing students on this campus doing stuff every day that I could never have dreamed about when I was a student in college. And it's so glad, and I'm such an honor for me to work with them every day, and amazing student athletes. You know, a minute ago, and I won't look back out there at him, but Kimmy English, who's a guy that I've known for quite some time out of Baltimore, Maryland, shot me a text, said he was going to be here with me this morning, and I really appreciate that. There are other student athletes that are here with us today, too, and it just means the world to me to be able to work with people like that every day. So in my comments today, and I should be able to keep it right between 10 to 12 minutes, so hopefully you'll be able to keep me on task. I'm going to cover 4 topic areas, okay? I want to be able to go a little bit of my history, just so you know a little bit more on that. I want to talk a little bit about Mizzou 1998, kind of where we were, kind of where we see ourselves today. I want to talk a little bit about where we see the future of the athletic program at the University of Missouri. And finally, I want to answer the question of why the heck are we here? Why am I up here talking to you? I want to say why now? So those 4 areas I'm going to try to address briefly, but I do want to make sure I take a little time to be able to discuss those with you. Bill and Sue Alden, okay? Those are 2 people that are my parents that had 4 children a long time ago, right? My dad finished his sophomore year in high school. My mom was a freshman. She got pregnant. They had to get married. And 4 kids later, you know, just lots of challenges. And I had an opportunity to grow up with a lot of different people. So a lot of different people had custody of me as I was growing up. But my brother John, he's in here somewhere. Sorry. My brother John, who's my hero, right? I'm so sorry. Never left me, ever. And so my dad got custody of us when I was in 8th grade, finally. Right? We settled with my dad and my brother John, and so that in itself finally became some kind of established baseline for me and our family unit of my dad and my brother John and me. And that I have a great brother Pat, I have a great sister Billy Sue, and they've done amazing things. But as we were split up when we were little kids, my brother John never left me. And one of those things, the only constant we ever had in our lives was a farm we have here in Williamsburg, Missouri. It's in Callaway County. It's about 40 miles from here, right? And so I have a lot of family members that are in and around this area. My Aunt Virginia, who's here with us today, my cousin Todd, who's like a brother to me, and his wife Lori, here with me, my cousin Becky, and lots of other people that live in this area. But the only thing we had that was a constant was this farm that's right down the road. And so that was something that gave us some strength and some stability. And certainly something that's been in our family for a long time, and it will be for a long time to come. Now, my mom lives out there right now. I mentioned that twice. What a blessing to me to be able to have 2 mothers, right? My birth mother and my mother that everybody in here knows is Linda Alden, right? And Linda lives out on that farm, and I know she's here, and really appreciate her, of course. One thing my dad told me, a couple things, a lot of things, was Mike, always give 110% every day. Every single day, you give 110%. And he said, you know, the one thing, too, is what you want to do is make sure that you get up early every day and get after it, because you can always sleep late the rest of your life. And that was something that, to me, really kind of defined, I think, who I was as a person. I fast forward to the 1990s, and I met Rocky Alden, right? Rocky Falk in Phoenix, Arizona. We met, we started dating, we got engaged, and I brought her back here to be able to spend some time with my dad and Linda, my stepmom, but my mom, that I call my mom, here in Williamsburg. And we went from Williamsburg to Columbia, Mo, to the big city, okay? And when we came to the big city, I'm taking Rocky around, and true story, 1991, I parked her on Kentucky Avenue, right over here on Kentucky Avenue, in front of the Kappa Alpha Theta house. That's the Theta house, which my wife is a Theta. So I had to hear more about pansies and black and gold and kites. These are all the things that go along with this sorority. I never got the handshake. And then, but I sat in front of that house, and I told Rocky Alden, I said, one of these days, Rocky, I'm going to be the athletic director at Mizzou. That's my dream job. That is a fact. That happened back in 1991. And then in 1998, as you heard, I had that breakfast with Chancellor Wallace there at Gasper's Truck Stop. And that kind of gets us to today. So you allowed me to tell a little bit of my family history without showing family films and everything. I hope I didn't bore you, but I think it leads us a little bit to where we are today. And so in 1998, as we look at where we have been in the past, We had a lot of challenges within our athletic program. Certainly, we had some academic efforts that we needed to do to really enhance what we were trying to do academically. I think facility-wise, Joe Castiglione had done an amazing job, and a great predecessor of mine and a good friend of mine, as he had gotten the process going relative to facility improvements. And what we wanted to do was be able to continue to take that forward. We wanted to be more integrated, of course, what happens on our campus. Right? The one thing we know is athletics is by far and away not the most important thing that happens on this campus. No way is it even close to that. Right? Our undergraduate experience, our graduate and professional experience, our research, our faculty, all these awesome things we do on this campus, that's what this place is all about, right? We just happen to be a strong advertising vehicle. And we wanted to make sure that we used that front porch, that advertising vehicle, to really be able to tell the story of Mizzou. But to do that, you had to become more integrated, and that was important for us to do that. Our finances really weren't in real good shape, guys. We were kind of close to the bottom of the Big 12 at that time. We had a lot of work to do, and we needed to really improve in a lot of other areas, in particular competitiveness. We needed to make sure we were across the board a more competitive program. Now, over the course of that time, there's been a lot of opportunities for our student athletes, our coaches, our staff to shine, to be able to grow, to be able to do some great things here at Mizzou. But certainly, have we made some mistakes along the way? Absolutely we have. Have we stumbled along the way? Absolutely we have. And have we had challenges? There's no doubt about that. But I believe, and I think we believe, that each and every one of those challenges, each and every one of those stumbles, or each and every one of those mistakes, that we learned from that. Our program learned from that, and we grew from that. And really, as I look at that, isn't that what life is all about, right? It's not always going to be perfect each and every day. And when you do make mistakes, when you do stumble, when you do have challenges, are you humble enough to recognize that? Are you humble enough to admit that? And are you humble enough and forceful and strong enough to be able to stand up and learn from it? And I believe that we've been able to do that in an outstanding fashion in our athletic program at Mizzou. So today, where are we today? Certainly academically, we're so proud of how our student athletes do. You know, we're one of the leading athletic departments in America with how our student athletes perform academically. In America, we are. In this league, in the SEC, as a program department, we're number 2, just behind Vanderbilt, but we're nipping at their heels. But in football, we're number 1. Coach Pinkel has the number 1 academic program in football in the SEC and one of the top 5 or 6 in America. And that shows the commitment that our coaches and our student athletes have towards what we're trying to do. Facilities-wise, I think you've seen tremendous growth. Integration-wise within our campus, I hope that you've seen that. I believe that you've seen that. I think our collaboration with our great faculty, our staff, our students that we have on our campus are amazing. Fundraising, we certainly have so many generous supporters of our program in the Tiger Scholarship Fund and other areas that have helped us to develop to where we are today. Competitiveness, you've seen some success, quite a bit of success, in some cases unprecedented success, and I think the key there is how do you keep that going. And then finally, if I may, the move to the SEC has been an amazing impact not only on this athletic program, but frankly on this university in the state of Missouri. So I think all of those things tell us that today things look very, very good for the athletic program at Mizzou. Perfect? Absolutely not. Areas to grow? Absolutely, right? But are we in a good position right now for us as we head forward into the future? We are, right? And so what does that future hold for Mizzou? So Mizzou athletics, I think that the future really holds opportunities ahead of us to give us a chance not only to compete for SEC championships in all of our sports, but to compete for national championships. And I remember when I came in 1998, people said, national championships? What are you talking about, man? We just got to win some games. That's all we need to do. But you know, if you think about where we're at in many of our programs, and I don't want to disregard any of those, but the number of times I've been to the College World Series in softball under Aaron Earlywine, what Brian Smith is doing in wrestling, what's going on with our swimming and diving program under Greg Rodenbaugh, the great things that are happening there, what's happened with volleyball and Wayne and Susan Krecklow, Brian Blitz, on and on and on and on. I haven't mentioned Gary Pinkel yet. He's done a pretty good job, most successful coach in the history of this school and the championships that he's won. All of those things bode so well for the future. And then you take a look, right, at the job that Robin Pynchon is doing as she's building our women's basketball program. Kim Anderson, I was so pleased when he and I met and greeted all of you met, we've known each other a while, and greeted all of you from up front here in April, because just to watch the job that he is absolutely doing with our men's program, amazing. And get ready, because I'm telling you, he is planting all the right bricks in place to be able to see tremendous success in that sport in the future. And again, I could go on and on. Now I'm feeling bad because I'm missing some of our sports, but I told you I'd keep it shorter, right? So I think I'm at about 8 or 9 minutes right now. So let me tell you why now. Okay, let me tell you why now. And again, I'm trying to keep my emotions in check, and I know I've had some challenges on that, but man, I cried a lot over the course of the last 5 or 6 days, and I've cried a lot even before that. You know, as you look at why now, for us, this is Rocky and myself and Jake, so our family unit, right? For us, we see this as this is part of our journey. This is part of our life's journey. Now, this is me, so I'm not projecting this other places. This is me, right? So our personal faith tells us that this is just part of our journey. This is something that we believe that we have an opportunity to do by our faith telling us that it's by that opportunity that we have that, and we've chosen to be able to do that. There's a couple of things that drive us in that direction. I don't know how many people in here have ever read the book A Purpose-Driven Life by Rick Warren. To me, amazing book. But the first line in that book is, just remember, man, it's not about you. I kind of jazz that up a little bit, but that's what it says. Remember this, it's not about you. It's not about you. And so many of us look at it and think about, well, what about me? How's it impacting me? What about me? And in that book, it all centers around the fact that it's not about you, right? It's about other people. It's about trying to help other people. I listened to a speech again this morning. I love this speech by Martin Luther King Jr. It's called The Drum Major Instinct. And if you've never heard that speech by Martin Luther King over 50 years ago, The Drum Major Instinct, I'd encourage you to listen to that. Because it talks about how all of us have this desire to be the drum major. All of us want to be the person out front. All of us want to be leading the parade. But really what it comes down to is those people that are getting it done, that doing it the right way, are also the people that aren't always leading the parade. And you got to humble yourself to make sure that you're allowing other people to succeed. And then the final thing for me, over the course of, I've tried to for many years, always talked about servant leadership and selflessness. You know, that's, to me, that's something that we work on every day. Are we perfect? Absolutely not perfect at that. Are we challenged on that every day? Sure we are, right? But that's something that's a daily focus on what we try to do. So if you take a look at what I mentioned in The Purpose-Driven Life, if you listen to what I mentioned on a speech that was given over 50 years ago, which has really influenced me in a lot of ways, and if you hear a little bit about what I talk about what we try to practice every day on servant leadership and being selfless, this is a perfect time. This is a perfect time. We love the University of Missouri. We love the state of Missouri. Our family has been so blessed by this institution. If you think about the things that are going on in our community and the amazing opportunities that are out there in front of our university, in front of our athletic program, if you truly want to try to be selfless, if you truly want to be a servant leader, if you truly want to let other people be the drum major, and you really believe that in your core, then you want to take that baton and you want to hand it to somebody else. And that's what we want to do. That was our choice. So there's nothing about my health. There's nothing about, you know, our family. There's nothing about our finances. There's nothing about anything out there. So people, I think, sometimes that we're looking about, why is he doing this? The guy's 56 years old. He's kind of at the top of his game and everything. I just explained to you why we believe this is the perfect job, for perfect time, and the perfect opportunity for the University of Missouri athletic program going forward. Think about what we have to be able to sell out there. Think about that job now that we have a chance to be able to portray to the country. This is one of the best athletic departments in the country, one of the best athletic director jobs in America, I'm telling you. For a guy that was a president of that organization, and I know all those folks that are out there, it is one of the best athletic jobs in America for all the reasons that I just told you. So the timing couldn't be better to be able to take that baton, pass that to somebody else, and take our leader, Dr. Lofton, and all the great things that he's doing, give him an opportunity, all the tools in his tool belt to be able to go out and recruit our next leader. Now, with that, I'm almost done, but I wanted to ask Rocky, if you don't mind coming up here with me. I want Rock to come on up. Come on, Rock. Oh, don't. Hey, we talked about this morning, okay? So she's giving you, come here. So, you know, come here, Rock. The thing is, as you look at who we are and what we're doing, this is kind of a package deal, you know? These jobs are a lot more than just an athletic director. These jobs are a team, and this is my teammate. And I want to make sure that we recognize the fact how important Mizzou has been to us. how much we love this institution and we love this state. Now, her dad, Bill Blevins, great guy, always reminded me of this too. This is a line I remember from him. Again, I'm almost done. And that was, hey Mike, just remember this, buddy. Don't ever stay too late at the party. Don't ever be the last guy to leave the party. And you know what I'm talking about there, right? You know what I'm talking about. And my father-in-law had great advice, and that was one of the things I picked up on. And that's why right now, this is the right time for us as a family. This is the right time, we believe, for us as Mizzou. And this is the right time for all of us that are Tiger fans. M-I-Z? Z-O-U. Thank you very much. And now Dr. Lofton will take some questions from the audience. Thanks. I didn't cry too much.
Thank you. We will take questions for both Mike and Dr. Lofton. Chris, as long as you're all right. This is your show, I know. So is that good? Okay. We do have a few mics to pass around here. So if you would, we are streaming online. If you would identify yourself real quick and then ask your question. Let's go ahead and start with Mike. We'll focus questions on Mike first, and then we'll turn it over to Dr. Lofton for a few minutes. So, Darren.
Darren Hellwedge with KBIA Radio. Mike, can you talk a little bit about the positive coaching program and what your role is going to be there?
Well, Darren, I appreciate you asking that. You know, for many, many years, I've had a great passion for teaching, for instruction, and for that type of approach, too. You know, I wear a wristband here that our student athletes gave me that talk about being demanding but not demeaning. And that in itself is the essence of positive coaching. That's what we're trying to do with regards to that program. Several years ago, I sat with Dan Clay and Rick McGuire over in Dan Clay's office, and they talked about the inception of that program, which has grown dramatically over the course of time. And so for me, to have an opportunity to be part of that program at whatever area that I can be as an instructor or also assisting in those areas, that to me is something that's going to provide, you know, it's a great passion of mine, an opportunity, and something that's pretty consistent for me. Those are things that I have been doing, at least as, you know, on occasion, getting into a classroom and doing things. I can do it on a much more regular basis right now.
Gabe DeArmond with Power Mizzou. Mike, first of all, how long has this process been kind of considering doing this, and I guess why the timing of the announcement when you have, you know, 7 months before it's effective?
Well, first of all, I've really been toying around with this, Rocky and I and our family have for probably a couple of years, actually. You know, it's been something in our mind, okay, about when is going to be a good time for us to try to transition to something else, where are we at with regards to a program, how are we going to continue to develop that, but it's probably been going on for maybe a couple of years. I think I zeroed in a little bit more on it, Gabe, back in probably late spring, maybe early summer. Talked to a couple of people that I'm really close to that gave me some feedback and some advice. And then we kind of ramped it up towards this year. Why this time of year? So this is a personal opinion, Gabe. I think that in the recruiting process, because, you know, make no mistake, this will be a recruiting process. You're going to recruit the next athletic director to come to Mizzou. And when you do that, the ideal time to do that for athletic directors in our profession generally is February, March, April, maybe May of the year. It's ideal. That's the ideal time to be able to do that. And so I think with that, you know, when I discussed that with Dr. Lofton, that was something that we considered together, but he gave me the option at whatever time, if ever, to be able to do that. And that was something that I chose because I thought it worked best for Mizzou, in my opinion.
David Morrison.
Hello, David.
Hey, how you doing?
Good.
I guess, do you know exactly, you know, what you'll be doing in the College of Education at this point? Will it be a new position, or just kind of, what are the particulars of that?
Well, I know Dean Clay is here, and when we're, I'll get to that question. But I know Dean Clay. Dan is the dean of our College of Education, and, you know, obviously I'll be working with him as well as other folks. But he'll be better positioned to be able to answer some of those questions. But I certainly would suggest, from an instruction standpoint, being able to have an opportunity to be in the classroom in our positive coaching program. I think that's exciting for me. I would also tell you and also the educational leadership areas. I'm sorry. I think those opportunities are right there, and those are things that those courses are there and they exist, and we always need good instructors, and hopefully I'd be a good instructor for those types of opportunities. I think beyond that, when you guys saw in there the Center for Global Leadership Learning, I mean, those opportunities as well, too. I mean, I think the great things that we're doing on our campus, it's going to give me an opportunity to really, hopefully, get a chance to work with all the collaborative efforts that are happening on campus. We're doing amazing things as far as leadership and service learning around our country and around the world, and I'm looking forward to being involved with that as well, too. Yes, Ashley.
Okay. Hi, Mike. Ashley Zavala,
Yes.
KRTG 13. You're becoming an instructor now, essentially, and you're teaching a lot of people some lessons. What's the greatest lesson or one of the bigger lessons you've learned as an athletic director at Mizzou?
Probably to humble yourself. I think that for many of us in this profession, I being one of those, you get caught up many times with regards to the position. You get caught up many times with the notoriety. You get caught up many times with the exposure that you have. And I think it's something every single day that what I've tried to learn is how do you humble yourself? How do you make sure that you always try to put it in perspective, that you don't allow the job and the title to define who you are as a person? So I was pretty quick on that answer because that's something that I work on every day.
Okay, we're going to take one more for Mike in this setting, and again, we'll be available across the room for follow-ups, but Austin, go ahead, and then we'll bring Dr. Lofton up for questions.
Mike, Austin Kim, ABC 17. What are some of the attributes you would like to see in the next Mizzou athletic director, and will you have a hand in the search for your replacement?
On the second part of that, I would say if I could be of any assistance to Dr. Lofton at all, of course I would be, but certainly he's the man. He has done this before. He's a great leader, and I don't think he really needs any help, but I'd be there in case he needed any assistance. But on the other part of that, I think that what we look at Mizzou, I would hope that we would look for the characteristics of people that are respectful. I think people that they got to have a great work ethic. Missourians love a great work ethic. I think they've got to have that blue-collar kind of work ethics that Missourians are known for. But they've got to be respectful. I think they have to be really responsible people. They have to be people that understand that the responsibilities that they have are also need to be expected of other people, but they have to expect it of themselves first. I think it's got to be somebody that's always looking for a way to do something better each and every day. You know, and sometimes change is challenging, but many times change is good. You got to look at it through a different lens. You've got to always be looking at ways to be able to make it better, discovering ways to do things better. And I hope it's somebody that's going to try to be excellent in every single thing they do. What I just described right there are the core values of the University of Missouri. They're right on the quad. They're right by our columns right there. Respect, responsibility, discovery, and excellence. And I think if you can overlay those, Austin, with the characteristics of hard work, determination, humility, and making sure that that you got a person that's getting ready to get up early every day and get after it, then I think that that you're going to find the right person. And I know Dr. Lofton will be doing that. So, thank you and I know I'll be available for some other questions later on. But Dr. Lofton.
Questions for Dr. Lofton, please.
Dr. Lofton, Dave Matter with the St. Louis Post-Dispatch. Do you have any kind of general timeline in mind on when you would like to hire somebody, and who will conduct the search besides yourself? Will you hire a search firm or any other committee on campus?
Okay, Dave. First of all, we will do the search right. It'll be a careful, deliberate process, but not terribly lengthy. The last time I did one of these, it was about 6 weeks. I won't say it'll be 6 weeks this time, but again, the longer we delay identifying a new leader here, the more uncertainty we create, the more difficult we create for the programs. My goal is to make sure we have stability and we continue our upward trajectory. This place is doing very well. We don't want to lose momentum we have right now. So we'll do the process right. We'll do it deliberately, but it'll be done in a reasonably fast way, which is typical. These are not searches that take forever. Again, 6 weeks, my last one. I'm not saying it'll be 6 weeks, maybe 8 weeks, maybe 12, maybe 4. You know, I'm not going to tell you an answer. I don't know the answer right now, but it'll be reasonably quickly. We want to get stability assured to our coaches, our athletes, and our university. I will lead the process myself. I'm still thinking about using a search firm. I've done that in the past. That may be an answer this time, but I haven't made that decision yet. It'll be done, though, this week or next week, very quickly.
Mark Seelig, Columbia, Missouri. What was your reaction when Mr. Alden told you that he was stepping down, and how are you guys planning on
Well, it was
funding the new position?
It was mixed emotions. I mean, he set me up the way he set you up. He tried to lay out his own thinking process that led to this conclusion. I was just finishing up, the search for a provost. Okay, I thought it was done for a while, and here we are again. But I respect Mike's decision. It's his decision to make. I didn't really try to talk him out of it, although I said, what can I do? He made it very clear this was a firm, deliberate decision he and Rocky had come to together. I couldn't dissuade him from that. I respected that decision, but my heart sank a bit because we're doing so well. He's leaving at the top of his game, and this university has never been better positioned in terms of athletics than it has been today. It's today, rather. And so, to me, it's just one more thing to do to find the right person to move into this role. We can't replace Mike Alden. We'll find a leader for our program that is of great character, fits the criteria we want this person to have here at Mizzou. High integrity, a focus on athleticism, but also on academic success as well for our student athletes. That's all critical.
Dr. Lofton, Chris Trevino, Channel 8, KOMU TV.
Yes, sir.
Sir, you have had many years' experience at Texas A&M, a bigger school, a bigger athletic budget. What is your grand vision for Mizzou athletics going forward?
Well, first of all, the budgets weren't that different. We weren't Texas or Alabama, okay? Either one of us were. Again, I came here for reason that the program Mike has shaped for 17 years here is incredible. He said it himself. Where do you find this kind of success, both academically and athletically combined? It's very, very rare. We don't want to lose that, sir. That's the most important thing going forward. We have achieved so much. We can achieve even more. So the critical issue here is finding a leader that gets that really understands this balance. We are a university first and foremost. We provide opportunities for people to access us in part through athletics. We use our athletics programs to be able to showcase who we are, to not just to Missouri, but to the nation and the world. We have great things to talk about here because of our program. So I think we'll be able to find the right fit. There are people out there who share the values we have here at Mizzou. We'll find those people, persuade them, and go forward.
Mr. Chancellor, Jacob Bogage, the Columbia Missourian. You'd mentioned before you came to the University of Missouri, you didn't know Mike very well, but you did know his reputation well. Can you talk a little about that reputation?
Well, Mike, first and foremost, has extraordinary respect among his peers. Eric Hyman, the person I hired at Texas A&M, had also served as president of the National Association of ADs, as Mike just recently completed his term there as well. This is a sign of respect among those who do your job elsewhere. That's pretty incredible, the kind of respect. We're talking about a lot of ADs out there, and they chose this man a short time ago to be their leader. Think about that. I knew him through that. I knew him through the eyes of my ADs as well, especially Eric Hyman, I knew him pretty well, having been in the SEC for many years as well. So everything I heard about Mike was first class. This guy, high integrity, a focus on all the right things, and the ability to get the job done. Those are all key issues right here. I heard about Mike Alden before I met him, other than just casual, pass by at SEC meetings, things like that.
Okay, we'll take one more for Dr. Lofton, and then again, we will give us a couple minutes to transition over to the room across the hall. We'll have Dr. Lofton, Mike Alden, and Dean Clay from the College of Education available in that room for follow-up. So, Todd, wrap us up.
Dr. Lofton, Todd Palmer, Kansas City Star. I was just curious, do you have a profile in mind of what you want from the next candidate in terms of experience? Do you want somebody that has previous AD experience, or would you take someone who had maybe been an assistant? And how important is it, there's some guys who were former assistants here, how important is it that they maybe have ties to MU and a respect for, the tradition that's been established? That's a complex question, Todd. Let me try to break it down a bit. I have no, predetermined outcome in terms of who it might be, first of all. Not quite what you asked here, but I want to say it up front. We have no person in mind right this second, no name in mind right now. Again, I've already outlined what I'm looking for in terms of characteristics. Where that person comes from can be pretty varied.
Obviously, we want somebody who has deep experience in athletics. My coaches would want somebody who understands their world. That's critical. The AD is one that hires the coaches, monitors the coaches, oversees them, works with them, supports them. So having that experience being a mentor and an advisor and a colleague with coaches is going to be important in some fashion as well. But also, you have to look at today. People who grasp the power of media, grasp how we monetize this whole operation here, that has to be there as well. We have a $85 million a year budget, roughly, athletics here at Mizzou. You got to be a good manager. You're a CEO of a pretty good-sized program. You got to pick good people, support them, enable them to do their jobs well. There's a variety of things you do as an AD. But again, we want, first of all, that our student athletes and our coaches feel supported and comfortable with the individual we pick.
All right, thank you very much, everybody. Appreciate you coming out today.